All right, now our speaker today is somebody who has been with us a long time, and we always enjoy hearing his pearls. And so here's Kevin Hauber. Kevin, go ahead.
Thank you, Brian. Well, good to be here with you guys today. Let's see, just a couple quick updates. Jan and Nina, thank you for your songs. Your second song reminded me I need to get out my tacky Christmas sweater that says Feliz Navidad on it, and have a chance to parade that around some this season. Brian, thank you for doing the switch. Normally I would be on next week, but next weekend, our son is getting married, and we're going to be celebrating that, and first marriage of kids in the family, and looks like it's going to be beautiful weather, and I think by the time Sunday rolls around, I'm probably just going to need to curl up. So I'm very glad for the switch and the chance to come be with you guys here this weekend. And thank you all for coming. I was looking at New York Times this morning, and one of the other places that you could have chose to be today is the Camel beauty pageant in the United Arab Emirates. If you can believe that, they have a camel beauty pageant going on this time of year. 24,000 camels from all over the Middle East converge on this place in the United Arab Emirates to celebrate Bedouin culture. I had to look at the article because I thought, how do you judge a camel beauty contest? And apparently it's on how straight the camel's legs are, the eyelashes, the pouty expression that the camel would have, and the hump that's just in the right place. So, you know, kind of remind you of the three wise men, you know, going across the desert kind of thing. You know, how beautiful were their camels? So anyway, so that's that was kind of a fun thing to start the day with. I want to do the service this morning part as inspiration, because I really enjoy the piece that I'm referencing to, and part as unity history, because I find it's a good idea for all of us once in a while to pick up some bits of unity history and understand a little bit more about this movement that we are part of. So I'm going to start with "I Am There" by James Dillard Freeman. It's probably a piece that many of you are familiar with if you've been around unity for any period of time. Okay, so here we go. Do you need me? I am there. You cannot see me, yet I am the light that you see by. You cannot hear me, yet I speak through your voice. You cannot feel me, yet I am the power at work in your hands. I am at work, though you do not understand my ways. I am at work, though you do not recognize my works. I am not strange visions. I am not mysteries. Only in absolute stillness, beyond self, can you know me as I am, but then as a feeling and a faith. Yet I am there, yet I hear, yet I answer. When you need me, I am there. Even if you deny me, I am there. Even when you feel most alone, I am there. Even in your fears, I am there. Even in your pain, I am there. I am there when you pray and when you do not pray. I am in you and you are in me. Only in your mind can you feel separate from me, for only in your mind are the mists of yours and mine. Yet only with your mind can you know me and experience me. Empty your heart of empty fears. When you get yourself out of the way, I am there. You can of yourself do nothing, but I can do all, and I am in all. Though you may not see the good, good is there, for I am there. I am there because I have to be, because I am. Only in me does the world have meaning. Only out of me does the world take form. Only because of me does the world go forward. I am the law on which the movement of the stars and the growth of living cells are founded. I am the love that is the law's fulfilling. I am assurance. I am peace. I am oneness. I am the law that you can live by. I am the love that you can cling to. I am your assurance. I am your peace. I am one with you. I am. Though you fail to find me, I do not fail you. Though your faith in me is unsure, my faith in you never wavers, because I know you, because I love you. Beloved, I am there. To me, that is a wonderful piece of mystical paradox to start today's conversation with. It sounds very contemporary, doesn't it? And I think you might be a little bit surprised about some of the history of this. So let me share a little of the backstory. I first came to know this poem when I was growing up in the Church of Religious Science in San Diego. And even though it was not Unity, of course, Church of Religious Science is another New Thought church, and we share a lot of lineage. So this poem made its way into my hands and onto my wall for many decades. And for me, it was a wonderful expression of a relationship with the divine. I still believe that to be true today. Most descriptions of the divine that I've found focus on the bigness of God or the intimate closeness of God, but very few capture both. This poem does capture both the bigness and the intimacy of a relationship with the divine. So let me share a little bit more of the actual history of this with you. And this may be surprising to you if you haven't found this before. It was 1947 when James Dillard Freeman heard the words that would inspire his most beloved and widely known poem, I Am There. His wife, Catherine, was in the hospital undergoing surgery for cancer. It was a time of deep personal need, Freeman recalled. I was in great anguish of spirit, he said. When the doctors told him that Catherine had terminal cancer, he left the hospital. He went to Silent Unity Prayer and Healing Room at the then Unity headquarters at 917 Tracy Avenue in Kansas City, Missouri. That was before Unity Village, if you'll remember. God, he prayed aloud, if you are there, please allow my Catherine to live. Oh God, where are you? Have you ever had an experience like that? Oh God, where are you? I think we all have had those kinds of moments. Freeman would later recall that he heard a clear and audible, empathetic voice that spoke to him saying, do you need me? I am there. He looked around to see who was talking, but he saw no one. And while he bowed his head, he could still hear the words and felt hope and comfort. And upon reflection, Freeman recalled that the hospital scene, when the doctor emerged from the surgery room, the doctor he said, walked over slowly, shook his head and told Freeman, I'm sorry, the cancer has spread. He said that Catherine had just months to live. And a few days later, while she was still in the hospital, Freeman shared the doctor's prognosis with Catherine. but she seemed to already know. And amid her weakened condition, he said, the couple kept an upbeat facade to comfort each other. Freeman recalled taking her hand and laying down beside her. And all at once, there was a presence in the room with us, and we knew we were not alone. Freeman later wrote, several days later, he took Catherine home. She was in a lot of pain, Freeman said, but her courage carried them both. In the evenings when the pain was nearly unbearable, Freeman would often read to her the words that he had heard in the chapel. Catherine lived for 10 months after the diagnosis, and although a great loss to him, Freeman said that he did not lose faith. Rather, he was sustained by his wife's faithful influence. He said the experience taught him that God's love is always present. Isn't that wonderful to have that kind of experience affirm that God's love is always present? The original verses of I Am There tell of each phase of the months leading to Catherine's transition. Freeman remembered the question, do you need me? And the divine response of assurance, I am there. On August 7th, 1971, quite a few years later, the poem was famously carried to the moon by the Apollo 15 astronauts, James B. Irwin, David R. Scott, and Alfred M. Worden. It was stored in a microfilm file. The poem was intended to be left there for future space explorations. Freeman received a letter from Irwin on August 30th, 1971, verifying that in fact, I Am There was on board the Falcon, the lunar module, on its mission to the Hadley Apennine region of the moon. In November of that year, Irwin visited Unity Village to meet with Freeman personally, which I think is wonderful. The version of the poem that I have that's framed remembers that presence of the poem on the moon. So note that Freeman received the words of this poem when he was in prayer. That's the first theme that I'd like to point out for today. How often does amazing inspiration come in moments of desperation and despair? Now, I'm sure you can relate to that from your own experience. Imagine that kind of inspiration coming through in a moment of crisis. And we talk in Unity about prayer being our talking to God, and that meditation is listening to God. And it seems that James Dillett Freeman was doing both. In the Unity movement, there's a belief that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. I'm sure you've heard that many times, and indeed that's true. What we think about comes about, or what we think about expands. So Henry Ford knew that when he was speaking the truth when he wrote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So there's the second takeaway for today. Remember that a copy of I Am There is on the moon, and that was no accident. Ann Leach writes, as I look back on this historic event, I continue to be in awe of the power of imagination and use it to speak of something conceived of in the mind before we even see it in physical form. The bold goal of landing a man on the moon, declared by John F. Kennedy, is one of the biggest examples we have. And it took 8 years to manifest. That's 8 years of doing the work to make the right decisions and hold on to the vision with faith and trust. Would your own faith afford you the same tenacity, hope, and focus on a goal that big for your life? I believe that if we have the inner nudge from Spirit, isn't that a great phrase? The inner nudge from Spirit, then the ways and means to manifest it will be made available to us. We don't have to know the how or the when. We just steadfastly hold onto the vision and take the steps that we're guided to take and feed it all with a heaping serving of faith and trust. Now there is a formula for manifestation. It takes all of the awareness and the presence spoken of in the poem and puts it into action. There's a time to be with the one on the mountain, and there's a time to be in the world in right action. It is not an either or, it is a both and. And there is a balance to be found in that. We create a vision for what life can be that's in tune with the universe, and we follow through with manifesting that. From the poem, "You cannot see me, yet I am the light that you see by. You cannot hear me, yet I speak through your voice. You cannot feel me, yet I am the power at work in your hands." Now, there's a tendency that we have as humans to either get lost in the ether or in the physical. It's a balance to be able to live in both worlds. It's balance to be able to know and feel the greatness and the grandeur of God, and to feel the closeness and the intimacy of the divine at the same time. Beloved, I am there. So let's take all that into meditation for a few moments to wrap this morning. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Just focus inside and breathe. Breathing consciously up and down the spine, making space inside, letting go of whatever needs to be released. And as that space grows, consider the part of the poem where presence speaks. I am the law on which the movement of the stars and the growth of living cells are founded. I am the love that is the law's fulfilling. I am assurance. I am peace. I am oneness. I am the law you can live by. I am the love that you can cling to. I am your assurance. I am your peace. I am one with you. I am. Though you fail to find me, I do not fail you. Though your faith in me is unsure, my faith in you never wavers, because I know you, because I love you. Beloved, I am there. So breathe into the vastness and the closeness of that all at the same time. We're engulfed in and filled by that presence. We can deny the presence, but there's no point, since we will all ultimately return to the presence anyway. God is present for us, bidden or not. So spend a few moments in the silence with them. And continue to close your eyes if that helps you to be present. Breathe inside. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you. Bless you. Namaste and happy holidays.